Now in this video, I'm going to give you some ideas of how you could choose a token to trade with. Now coming over to the trends, and if I go to the base network, now at first glance when you come into the trends, you might say, oh, I'm going to choose what everybody else is choosing. But if you go down the screen, there's a lot of tokens that are not even being traded yet with Johnny Blockchain's trading robot, and some of them have been recently added. So how do we look into these types of tokens? How do we choose one that we may want to trade with and start our own little trend, our own little following? So I'm just going to go down this little list here and just go down maybe 3 or 4 tokens, just so we can get an idea of how we can choose a token that's listed on Johnny Blockchain that nobody else is trading. Because you might find a little gem, mightn't you? So we've got this icon here which represents the chart. And if you click on that, that will open up Dex Screener about this token. Now you can see here the liquidity lock's not got a great deal of liquidity for this particular token, 143,000. You can also see here that in the last 24 hours it's done 1.6%, and you can see here how many buys it's got. It's got 9 buys in the last 24 hours, and if you look down here, you'll see how many sellers there was. There was 4 sellers. So not a lot of activity happening on this token. So let's go and have a look at another one. And so we go down to this one here, click on the chart. So we can see that this one's got locked liquidity. Okay, so this is a good sign. So they can't get the liquidity out. 24 hours, 2.5%. We can see that there's been 8 buyers and there's been 7 sellers in the last 24 hours. And if you look here, you could see, you know, how much is being bought. Look, 4 cents, $10, $3, $15, 70 cents. And then if you look here, you can see the sales. And coming down a little bit further, you can see there's no issues with this token at all whatsoever. You know, both green ticks. Is this a token that's worth choosing? I don't know. I would like to see a bit more activity, a bit more buyers and sellers involved here. So I wouldn't choose that. Coming down a little bit further, we got this one here. This one's got 36 buyers in the last 24 hours and 22 sellers. And if we look down, it says no issues on that one. This one says there's one issue, a proxy contract. That means we can't actually see what's written in the contract, you know. So this could be a little bit of a riskier token. I mean, all tokens are risky in my view. So you decide $89,000 worth of liquidity. Is that a token you want to trade with? Well, what you can do, let's say that you like the look of that token. I always like to go and look at how many followers they got on Twitter. So I click on the Twitter link there, or X. I can see that there's 4,000 followers for this particular token. And I can also go and look in their Telegram group. So if I click on that, opens this, I can see that they've only got 248 people in their Telegram group. So it may be, for me, not a token that I want to trade with. I'd go and have a look at the website, see if I like the look of the website. This is just simple stuff. This is not telling me that this is a great project, but I can have a look at it and say to myself, is this a token I think that the community is going to grow? Is it a token that maybe is going to pump up a little bit and I can make a bit of profit with my trading robot? So I go down the list a bit further and I'm going to look at this one here, look, this BNKR. So I click on this here, that opens up a new window. I've got the chart. So straight away I can see 100 grand's worth of liquidity. That's okay. I can see in the last 24 hours, dropped by 6%. In the last 6 hours, it's gone up by 18%. Last hour gone up by 9%. So even though it's dropped overall 6%, there's a lot of room here for a robot to be making money, ain't there? You know, there's. Let's just have a look at the chart. I'll minimise this here and bring the chart into screen. So I can see there, look, if I do that, you can see nice bit of volatility here. It's on the way up at the moment. Is it going to carry on going up? I don't know. Or is it going to hit up to this high and drop back down again? Let's go and have a look at the website. So there's the website. Not a fantastic looking website, but that doesn't matter. Coming over to Twitter, let's see how many followers they've got. You know, so they've got just under 7,000 followers, so not a bad little following. So let's say I wanted to set this robot up, and I thought, well, this is the robot I'm going to go with. So what I need to do is come back over to Johnny Blockchain. So I'm going to copy that ticker, and I'm also going to go on the plus sign. And the reason why I copy the ticker is sometimes it doesn't always find it for me. Now, when you click that plus sign, it should open up the robot screen to set up the bot. Now, I can see that there's a problem here straight out the gate, and that is it's not picked up my balances. It's given me the correct exchange here, and it's given me the correct pair that I want, but it's not picking up anything here. And if I go to my MetaMask wallet, I can see that the system hasn't turned me over to base. Now, even when I click on this drop down arrow and go to base, I can still see that it's picked up base here, but this is not changed. Now, sometimes what that can mean is that you've got other extensions open up the top here. So I've got this Tron extension open, and I've got a Johnny Blockchain extension open. So I want to close this Tron one. So I'm going to click on this jigsaw puzzle. That gives me this pop-up, and I'm going to go down to Manage Extensions. And what I'm going to do is look for the Tron Link wallet. That's the one I want to close. Just slide that across. Not deleting it, it's just closing it off the browser. I'll close that, and then this time, remembering that this is BNKR, because when I refresh this screen, it's going to reset everything. It's put me back onto Pancake. So I'm going to click on this, and from the drop down, I'm going to choose this one at the bottom, which is the base network. And then what I'm going to do in here is just put in BNK, and I want it to do with USDC, because that's what I've got in my wallet. Now you can see it's picked up my wallet balance, and it's also picked up down here that these are need approving. So that tells me that my TronLink wallet was interfering with the connection between Johnny Blockchain and my MetaMask wallet. So that's just a little tip that you might want to do. Now, before I set this token up, I've got to approve the tokens that I want to trade with. Well, I've already approved USDC, so that one's okay. But I need to approve this one because it's got approved 0. So I click on that change word there. That opens up my MetaMask wallet. I can see the wallet it is, and I can see everything's okay. So I click on confirm. I don't need to edit anything on that screen. All I need to do is just confirm that I want Johnny Blockchain's robot to talk to the smart contract and my MetaMask wallet, okay? And I want the robot to carry on trading multiple times. So I've now approved lots of this token, and I've also got lots of USDC already approved. So the next thing I want to do is come over to Infinity. I want it to come over there, and I'm going to go on the expert mode. Click on the expert mode. Now, if you can see there, I only got $37. So I obviously want to delete some lots, but even if I had some more money, because I don't trust this token, I'm going to delete these lots off. And I've got 2 lots at the moment. Now, before I choose what I'm going to do with these 2 lots, I'm going to go back over to Deck Screener and have a look at some information on there. Now, when I open the chart, yours might look like this. Let's just get this up like that. Yours might look like this with the sales down here. So you just want to click on that minimize, that little line there. That gets rid of all the buys and sells, the order book. Now, when you click on the chart icon that we did earlier from Johnny Blockchain, it opens up the chart, and by default, it puts it on 3 minutes, this time frame up here, 3 minutes. Now, what I want to do is look at some other time frames so I can see what's happening with the price, because these are 3-minute candles. So this is telling me that there's a high here and a low. So if you look, if I change this from 3 minutes to 15 minutes, you can see now the high and the low have changed, because that's 00016. I've put it back to there. It's 00012. So if I look at the 15 minutes, I can see what's happening in 15 minutes. And if I drag in there, look, if I come in and drag in, I can see the highs, and as I move through here, I can see that from this point here, the 22nd of January, so if I want to come over to here, which is the 26th of January, so that's a couple of days ago. So if I zoom in a bit there, so if I'm looking from this point to this point here, from this where it was a couple of days ago to where it is there, I can use a tool like this one. I've made it, if you can see it there, now I've got that tool from this side menu. So if you click on over here, and what you're looking for is price range, and then I put this little star next to it, and then what that does is it puts it here all the time. And if I go like that and come down to there, I can see that that's almost a 60% drop in the last couple of days. And if I do get that again, and I go from there up to there, I can see now from this point, which is the 28th, up till now, it's gone back up again. Okay, so I can see there's some big drops down, and I can see that there's some big moves up. So I can see that you know, there's 50% move in there. So what I can do is can come over to Johnny Blockchain, and I can set this second lot, this lot number one, because this would be the first lot it would buy, lot zero. I could set this so it's got a big drop on it. So I say, well, it's prone to big drops. So I'm going to put a big drop on here. I'm going to put in maybe, I don't know, 35. There's no particular number you want to put in there, but I'm going to put in a big drop because I think if the coin does buy that first lot and then has a big drop, it's not going to spend my money straight away. And obviously I can come in and tweak this and look at the chart again. You know, you don't have to be an expert trader to see the chart movement. You don't. There's no indicators on here to tell me what's happening. I'm just using my eyes to see what's happening to the chart. So if we look here, and if I come back into the 3-minute one, I can see, if I get this here, I can see that these are 3-minute candles, that there's a 39% drop there. And if I get that and go up to there, I can see that there's a 25% pump up. Okay, now the bit that I've got to do is I've got to decide, do I want to start my bot right now, or do I want my bot to start sometime in the future when the price drops back down again? Now over on Johnny Blockchain, you've got this set in here. At the moment, by default, it's set to 0.01, and that says initial buy. So when is it going to buy this lot zero? The price can either go up by 0.01, or I can put a different number in there. So let's say I said, well, if I wanted to say I want it to go up by 1% before it buys, or I want it to go down by 1% before it buys, I can set a plus or minus number in there. Of course, I could leave it on default. I could set a plus or minus number on there to say what I think might happen. Now, it's on its way up. Now, but is it going to, you know, at this big pump down, this drop down here, is it going to go up, reach this point somewhere here? As you can see that there's sort of that line there that I've got on there. Is it going to reach that line and then go back down again? So I could say, if I want it to start sometime in the future, I could say, well, I'm going to wait for it to have a 2% drop, for argument's sake. I could see that in the last hour, it's had a 1.34%. I can see that there's green candles and there's some red ones there. I've just plucked that number out of somewhere the sun doesn't shine. You know, I'm not doing an expert trade or anything there. I'm just using a bit of my own mind to say, this is a risky token. When do I want my robot to start? So I'm going to put this to say minus 3%. So this is not going to spend any money unless this token moves down by at least 3% before it buys into the market. And of course, I could change that number for whatever I like before I save my bot. Now, there's a couple of other things I like to do. This thing here, this lot here. So let's say that the price, it buys that, it drops by 3%, and then it carries on dropping, and it drops by another 35%. And then it moves up by 0.5%, and then it triggers it to buy this one here. And this one starts to make a profit. Well, what I want to do is I want to change this kept profits. I'm going to, because I've deleted all the lots off, okay? I've already changed the default settings. I want to change this to 50. Now, what does that mean? It means that 50% that will show on the front screen that I've made a profit with this bot. All of the money, all of the profit that it makes is in my MetaMask wallet, but Johnny Blockchain system shows me I've only got half. So if it made $1, Johnny Blockchain system will say you've only made 50 cents, even though there's been $1 being put into my MetaMask wallet. And now what the robot's going to do with the 50 cents that it's saved, it's going to use it to bring down the price, the average price that I bought in with this one. So it's going to bring down the price that I spent on this one, because I've only got one lot there. And if I spent $20 and it kept 50 cents, I've only spent now $19.50. So that means it can close that trade earlier. And what I like to do is, if I've got more than 2 lots, I've only got lot 0, lot 1, so that's 2 lots. If I've got more than 2, I use this setting. Use the kept profits to sell the recent lot. So it's going to work on just one lot above, not all of the lots together. if that makes sense. Now, I've got some videos that go into this in greater detail. I don't have enough money to cover this because it says here I want $40 and I've only got 37. So what I can do is I can come here and put this to 50% here, which changes it down to $10. I don't want to go lower than $10. And if I come back up the top, you see that red warning's gone. And if I put this to 100%, you'll see that that red warning comes back to say you haven't got enough funds in your wallet if the price does drop and it buys lot 0 and lot 1s. Well, I'm going to do this to 50%. I'm going to say, well, I'll let it buy $20, and if the price drops by 35%, I'm getting it to buy another $10. So what I'm risking here is $30. Now, you have to decide, do you want to risk $30 because the price may drop 35% and carry on dropping? And if it goes to 0, you've lost your money. If it doesn't go to 0 and it drops by 70%, but then it starts to find a bottom and it starts to go sideways at 50% or 70%, you can come in and add another lot and say, well, look, I'm going to risk a little bit more money so that the bot can make a profit down at that lower point and then trade its way out of debt. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea. So all I need to do now is to save the bot. Now I know it's this BNKR, so I click on save. Now, what I do is go right down the bottom of the screen because that's not the end of it. All I need to do now is to switch this bot on because I've saved it, but it's not going to do anything until I switch it on. I switch it on, and then that bot there is now up and running. It's going to monitor the price, and if the price in this case drops by 3%, it can open up its first trade. Now, I can at any point, if I want to, come in and edit this bot before it buys a lot. And to do that, I'll just come to this hamburger menu here, click on edit the bot, and you'll see if I put it on expert mode, because it hasn't bought this first lot, I can change this setting if I want to. But once it's bought that first lot, this one will be locked in. I won't be able to change that setting anymore. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how you can use Johnny Blockchain to choose a token to trade with. Create your own trading robot. Below this video, you're going to find a link. It's going to take you over to Johnny Blockchain. You can either use it with a MetaMask wallet and PancakeSwap, or you can set it up with Binance.com and Binance US. You've got decentralized trading or centralized trading. Your funds stay inside your wallets all the time. So if you're using the decentralized, your funds stay inside your MetaMask. If you're using the centralized on Binance, then your funds stay inside your Binance account. You don't have to send your funds to this platform to do the trading for you. You can create a free account by clicking on sign up or register. It's going to bring you here. Pop your name, your email address, password, put some ticks in these boxes. Click on this box here to say complete my sign up. You can have a look round, and when you're ready to get started, if you want to set up a decentralized trading robot, it's going to cost you $25 a year to set up as many trading robots as you like. If you want to set up a centralized trading robot with Binance, it's going to cost you another $25 a year, and you can set up as many robots as you like. So if you want to set up both decentralized and centralized trading robots, it's just $50 a year for as many trading robots as you like. Click the link below, come and create your free account, and happy trading.